also, Dow, there's another piece that I'd like to share. You know, this past year was a very traumatic year in a lot of ways.
It was a terrible year for
Yeah.
New Orleans, yes.
And when I think about Katrina and what happened in Louisiana, it was just very traumatic. And so this piece was a very difficult piece to write, but I'm thankful that the Creator gave me the inspiration to write it so that I may be able to share it with people.
Because you know what they went through was just, it was terrible. I mean, no one should have to live like now to this day, where they were saying people are living in houses that have the roofs off and they have rain on them every night, and it's terrible. It just makes you want to cry, you know. And what they went through is just terrible, Danny.
And people are still suffering, though. So this is a piece I wrote during Katrina, when Katrina happened. Actually, it was like a couple of days after Katrina happened that I wrote this piece here. And it's simply entitled Katrina, Hell and High Water. Through hell and high water and life cries unheard, tales of courage and hope speak louder than words. A hand of hope for the looted, left, and lost is a lifeline over troubled water to carry you across. A motherless child who would have drowned, saved from harm's way, was lost but found. The heart of the Big East is in a hell of a state, through deep waters of a racial divide and too little too late. When the first law of life is self-preservation, how can you help but yield to temptation? And how can you stop your bleeding heart from crying? When men, women, and children, the elderly and the sick are dying. In the raging wake of Katrina's gumbo blues, the haves and the have-nots alike had everything to lose. From the Superdome to somebody's Astrodome, the soul of the city had no place to call home. When Katrina brought Louisiana to a stalemate, she turned all of America into a third world state. Through hell and high water and cries for help unheard, the sound of dead silence speaks louder than words. Katrina.
That poem, Katrina, is absolutely beautiful, Danny. I just want to know, where did those words come from? What inspired you to really do a poem to touch home on the Katrina evacuees?
You know, Doc, to tell you the truth, it was so very painful for me to write a poem like this. I've never written anything like this before. And what I did, because I do a lot of research, I read newspapers and periodicals, and I taped different programs from the TV, and I took it and I put it on CD, and I listened to it in the car, and I was just bombarded with it, and I locked myself in my house for about 6 days, and I just stayed in all day and half the night, and I just worked on Katrina until it came to me. It came to me about 3 o'clock in the morning, almost like a printout from a PC. It just came out of me because it was very painful, and I wanted to say something. I didn't know how I was going to say whatever it is I was going to say. I didn't know what I was going to say. I just know I had this idea in my head about this emotion that I was feeling concerning Katrina.
Yeah, because it's very painful, just the thought of it. You understand? We were watching Oprah the other day, and we love Oprah here on Dog.